Hi students, very good morning to one and all. My name is Maheshwari from CSE department. I belongs to MVR College of Engineering and Technology. I hope all are you fine to this pandemic situation. Today I start operating system class 2. In our class 2 section, the objective is operating system fundamentals. All of you know what is the definition of operating system. Operating system, which is nothing but it is the interface between computer user and computer hardware, that we can call as a operating system, and it is the heart of the computer also. What does mean fundamentals? The basic information getting to we can call as fundamentals. So here the basic information of computer by using of operating system we can know here. In this section our objectives are 7. Those are, first one is component of an OS, second one function of an OS, third one types of OS, fourth one file system, and fifth one is command line tools, sixth one is system services, seventh one is linkers and loaders. The first objective is components of OS, which is nothing but components of computer system. Here the components of operating system is 4 components. Those are computer hardware, operating system, system and application programs, at last users. What does mean computer hardware? Computer hardware, which is nothing but the 3 elements of an OS. Here the 3 elements are user interface, kernel and file management system. The user interface, the name itself, it intermediate act on user by using of operating system, and kernel means it is the heart of the operating system. It interact with BIOS, which is nothing but basic input output system, and UI at other end. UI means user interface. Here the both interfaces to source to destination, the two are connected to interact with by using of core OS. And file management system, it organizes and manages file. What does mean file? A collection of records we can call as a file. These 3 are the main 3 elements in operating system. And operating system functions. Here the operating system functions are 4. Those are file management and application management and built-in utilities, which is nothing but program, and control of computer hardware. What is meant by file management? File management is the law of good file management, is that system should make it easier for you to find the documents, that we can call as a file management. What does mean application management? It is the combination of provision of services for application and support for application system throughout the entire life cycle. Using to supported software is enhanced, that we can call as the application management. Here we can use number of applications, that applications are managed and controlled by using of application management. And third one is built-in utility programs. The most of utility programs come as a part of operating systems package. However, users can download third-party software solutions for specific functions. The utility software program such as disk cleaners and antivirus are available with extra feature and are sold separately. For purchasing these utility programs, we can use built-in utility programs. And fourth one is control of computer hardware. This has been large to result of increased computer processing power as applied to hardware control and data analysis. So these four are the operating system functions. And operating system types. There are three types. Those are multi-user, multitasking and multi-threading. Multi-user, the name itself, it involves two or more users working with computer at the same time, then we can call as multi-user. And second one is multitasking. Two or more process run at the same time, then we can call as multitasking. And multi-thread. What is meant by thread? A thread is a lightweight process. It is also a process, but it is a lightweight. The multi in the sense two or more. Two or more parts of the same process running at the same time, we can call as a multi-thread. And PC operating system. In this PC operating system, we have three operating systems. Those operating systems are Microsoft Windows, Mac OS and Linux. Why you use micro Windows? Macro Windows, Microsoft Windows are commonly referred as Windows. It is a group of several property graphical operating system, all which are developed and marketed by Microsoft. It is developed by Microsoft Corporation. It is the family of Windows NT and it is written in C++, assembly language, JavaScript, Visual Basic and C. And its updated methods are Windows Update, Windows Anytime Update, Microsoft Store and etc. And Mac OS. In this Mac OS, it is originally named as System Software or simply it is called as System. Apple rebranded it is a Mac OS. In the duration of 1996, it is the part of Macintosh clone program that ended a year later. The classic Mac OS is characterized by the monoclonic design. It is include the versions of system software run one application at a time. And this Mac OS is a series of graphical operating system developed and marketed by system software. This family of operating system is Unix and Mac OS, and it is the latest version is 10.15.6. It is updated in August 12, 2020. And third one is Linux. Linux is a family of open source. It is a Unix-like operating system based on the Linux kernel. An operating system kernel first released on September 17, 1991. The Linux is typically packaged in Linux distribution. Initially released date is 17th September 1991. The OS family is unlike and it is the developer community is Linux throwers. It is written in C assembly language. Default user interface is Unshell, Unix Unshell, Elementary OS and Cinnamon and Unity. These all are the default user interfaces. So the PC operating systems are three. Those are Microsoft Windows, Mac OS and Linux. This MS Windows version are divided into three types. Those are Home, Professional and two-lined came together in Windows XP. The Home is non-professional and it is the versions of Windows 95, Windows 98 and Windows Me. The Home is no security between users of the computer, and in this professional will be used in business versions. The users could allow others to view or change their files or completely blocked files from the view. It is Windows NT and Windows 2000. The two lines came together in Windows XP. It will be used in 2001. And DOS, which is nothing but disk operating system. In this disk operating system, the first PC operated system is launched in 1981. It is not multitasking OS. Only one program could run at the same time. The disadvantage is only one program could run at the same time, and it is a command line interface. Here no graphical user interface. And in early versions, the Windows sat at the top of DOS and used it to communicate with a basic input-output system. Windows XP communicates directly with the BIOS but allows commands to enter via a command prompt. Next we learn file system. In earlier I said what is meant by a file. A file which is nothing but a collection of records, or a file is collection of bytes of information treated as a single unit. We can call it as a file. It is given a name to make easy to find and use it later. The file system keeps track of where the file actually resident on a disk. A disk, a hard disk, floppy, optical disk is subdivided into directories or folders. The file system is the top level folder on the disk is known as root. The root is generally subdivided into subfolders. Any folder or any subfolder can contain files and other folders. The fully qualified and file name includes the name of the file and the path of the folder in which it resides. Windows register file types. In this windows, the particular file extension can be registered and associated with a particular program. It associated with MS Word, we can save it as the file is .dox file. It associated with MX Excel, we can register it is .xlsx, and it associated with Notepad, we can register it is .txt, and it is associated with the IEM, so we can save it is i.html. There is how Windows know what to do when I double click a file in my computer. And file attributes. Each file has 4 attributes which can be viewed as are set. The attributes are read only, hidden, system, and archive. Read only means the file may be viewed, copied, executed, but not changed. It cannot be deleted. Hidden means it cannot be displayed in a normal list of files. The third attribute is system. The file is identified by belongs to system, should not be messed with. The archive file is a candidate of backup. So these 4 attributes are belongs to file. In DOS, it is used commands. The commands are 2 types. Those are internal and external. Internal commands are reset in the main kernel file, the command.com or cmd.exe. The external commands are separate little programs. It is important to learn DOS command because you can return script with execute a set of commands automatically. See this page. Here the command prompt of files are default reminds to current drive or current directory. The 3 parts of dot commands are command name, switches, and parameters. Here the command name is copy and it switches to E extension file, and parameters are C and D. C and D are temporary storage. So these 3 commands are DOS commands. DOS wild character. The character can be used to effective multiple files with a single command. These characters are copy C, means the document of C will be notes as the document of D. Those are temporarily storage, and means copy any old file that begins with the word notes with exactly 2 other characters like notes 01 dot document or notes ab dot document. It will be used the characters of alphanumeric. DOS wildcard characters. It uses the asterisk symbol for replaces any characters. Copy C parameter to D parameter, in between we give the asterisk. Copy all the files with the name, notes, and any extension. Copy asterisk dot doc c:/temp. It will be used the current directory. At the command prompt, a drive letter, for example take the F, make the current drive, it will be used some commands. CH means change directory. In this change directory, the CD with no parameters remains the current directory. CD moves the parent current directory up one level and CD slash the root of the current directory, and CD some directory makes the current directory. And some commands are MD. MD means make directory. RD means remove a directory or an entire directory. dir means display the content of directory. dl or erase means delete one or more files. Copy means place a copy of file in different folders. And xcopy means the flexible copy command used for copying large group of files, commonly used for backup files. And more DOS commands are move, moves file for a one folder to another, and ren, renames files. Attrib, attrib means display or set of files attributes. Format set is chkdsk means test the file system on a disk or report status. Even more, date and time, display and set the current data and time in the PC. The type displays content of the text file. And here we learn the system services. The system services provide a convenience environment for program development and execution. They can be divided into file manipulation and status information, sometimes stored in a file, program language support, program loading and execution, communication, background services, at last application program. Most user view of an operating system is defined by system program, not the actually system calls. The first one is file manipulation system service. In this file management system service, it will be given the create, delete, copy, rename, print, dump and list, and generally manipulate the files and directories. And second one is status information and storage in a file. Some ask the system for information, data, time, amount of available memory, disk space, number of users. Other provide detailed performance, login and debugging information. Typically, these programs format and print the output to the terminal or other output devices. Some systems implement a registry used to store and retrieve configuration information. Next one is programming language support. In this programming language support, it will be used compilers, assemblers, debuggers and interpreters. Sometimes it provided. Next one is program loading and execution. The name itself, program loading, means it absolute loaders, relocatable loaders and linking editors and overlaying loaders, debugging systems from high level and machine level language. And next one is communication. It provides a mechanism for creating virtual connections among process, users, and computer systems. Allow users to send messages to one another's screens, browse web pages, send electronic mail messages, log in remotely, transfer files from one machine to another. Next one is background services. In this background services launch boot at boot time, some for system startup then terminate, some for system boot to shut down, provide facilities like disk checking, process scheduling, error logging, printing, run in user context, not kernel context, and also known as services subsystems also. And last one is application programs. In these application programs run by users, not typically considered part of OS, and it is launched by command line, mouse, finger poke. These are the services, system services. And linkers and loaders. Here linkers means same thing will be communicate or connected by using of logical link, so that purpose we can used as linkers. And loaders means it will be load the information for location to execution process, we can use loaders. Source code compiled in object files designed to be loaded into any physical memory location, the relocatable object file, and the executable file will be used. Linker combines these into single binary and also brings in libraries. Program resides on a secondary storage as binary executable must be brought into memory by loader to be executed. Relocation assigns final addresses to program, path and adjusts code and data in program to match those addresses. Modern general purpose systems don't link libraries into executable, rather dynamically linked libraries in Windows, it is also called as DLLs, are located as needed, shared by all that use the same version of that same library loaded once. The object executable files have standard information, so operating system knows how to load and start them. The role of the linker and loader. Here see the flow chart. Initially it have source program. In this source program will used compiler. That compiler is used the object file. That object file will be linker to executable file. This linker file is other object file, and executable file is loader. That loader will be programmed in memory, and it is DLLs, which is nothing but dynamically linked libraries. So this is the flow chart. As we know, each and every program compile, then after we can execute, then after the program will be stored in memory. The process you all are known, but here we used linker and loader. This linker will links the object file, other object file to object file and executable file, so that two are processing, then after it will be loaded to memory. Whatever the result will be getting the object file and other object file, that is loaded into memory. That memory is dynamically linked library. See here, we initially start the program of main.c. In this main.c, the c is a variable or object. So in this object we can use gcc.c generates main.o. Here o is the new other object file. That object file also included to generates in main by using of executable file of ./main. The role of the linked file and loader we learn here. And in this PPT in this section we learn the operating system fundamentals. Those are components of an OS, functions of OS, types of OS, file system, command line tools, system services, linker and loaders. And the components are four. Those are computer, hardware, operating system, system and application programs, and user. And here the major three elements of OS is user interface, kernel, file management system. The functions of operating system is file management, application management, built-in utility programs, control of computer hardware. The computer system types are multi-user, multitasking, and multi-threading. Those are the most modern operating systems are multi-user is not in true. PC operating systems are Microsoft Windows, Mac OS, and Linux. The MS Windows versions are home based, which is non-professional versions. It is no security between users of computer, and professionals, it is a business purpose. It user could allow others to view or change their files or completely blocked files for view. And last one is the two line came together in Windows XP 2001. In this version, it is professional and home based. Then two other versions were added by using of Media Center edition. And we know here we learn disk operating system, which is nothing but DOS, and file system. The DOS is launched in 1981 and it is a command line interface. Here there is no graphical user interface. And file system, what in this file system, file which is nothing but collection of bytes of information treated as a single unit. In this file system we learn here how to generate root and how it will be generally subdivided into subfolders. The fully qualified file name will be include the path of the folder. Here we learn how to register the file types and file attributes and DOS commands. The three parts of DOS commands are command name, switches, parameters. In DOS commands, here we learn some DOS commands. This DOS is really does not exist. It's only a command prompts. Here we learn some commands. MD make a directory, CD change directory, RD remove directory, del delete copy files. Some other commands are learn here, and here we learn system services also. The system services, they will be provided to development execution of program, file manipulation, status information sometimes stored in file, and third one is programming language support. Fourth one is program loading and execution. Fifth one is communications. Sixth one background services, and seventh one is application program. Again I repeat the system softwares. Those are file manipulation, next one is status information, next programming language support, and next one is program loading and execution. Next one is communications. Last but not least, background services. The last one is application programs. Here we learn linkers and loaders, how the combination of single binary file will execute to bring libraries by using of linkers. Learn here. And the secondary storage of binary executable file is loaded to be executed by assign of reallocation file accessing. We learn here. And DLLS means dynamic linked library is needed to shared by all user to the same version at the same library. And object executable files also learn here. The object executed files are some standard formats. The standard formats know how to load and start them, and source code compiled in object files designed to be loaded into any physical memory location. This physical memory location is relocatable object file. And the last one is how the role play in linker and loader. Here I am given the small example how to link the object and how to load the file to a memory. In this picture you easily understand the flow chart. Initially it will be taken the source program. That source program will compile by object files. That object file is linked to executable file, and linker is other object file. Here we using dynamic linked library of program in memory. In this simple flowchart you can understand the logic. Whatever the program, the file will be saved as main.c, and this main.c will be used the GCC compiler. That GCC compiler will generate the main.c and it added to the new file object main dot o O is the object of other files. This GCC compiler will collect the GNU compiler collections, and it is integrated distribution of compilers of several major programming languages. Those languages are C, C++, Objective, C++, and GCC has multiple meanings in common. It is a key of components. The GNU will includes Linux kernel also, and it generates the main, and the execution is /main. It will be a dynamically linked library. Okay, students, I hope all of you understand. Thank you.